All right, guys, what's up? It's Jack, and welcome back to another video. And this one is going to be dedicated solely to try to push the no portals mode in Splitgate 2, which is, as of now, still a temporary playlist that's on rotation. And hopefully it will end up being popular, or has been popular enough for there to be at least some consideration to make it permanent. But here's the thing, though. On my Twitter, and I am way smaller on Twitter than I am on here. My following on Twitter is just nothing in comparison. It's hardly grown at all for like the last 5 or so years, and which is perfectly fine. You know, I don't mind keeping a smaller circle, but I wanted to kind of transfer this onto here to see if indeed the energy and the vibes that I got from the tweet, and as well as the amount of people that saw that tweet for a Twitter of my size, which is really tiny, you know, if you guys respond the same way. And of course, hopefully a dev or devs will see this and will help push and tilt it towards a more permanent playlist if they're indecisive, or if the numbers are close but maybe not close enough. Maybe this can help push, but I'm not sure. But my tweet basically said the fact that Splitgate 2 has a portals mode and a mode with no portals allowed is awesome. It's almost like playing 2 different games that have the same foundation. As an arena player, I love playing both, and that's true. I've played both modes. Obviously, I played with the portals mode a lot more. However, I've also played the no portals mode. And as a matter of fact, it's actually kind of funny because the first couple of games when I played no portals, I actually had to adjust because I was constantly being paranoid about somebody portaling at a certain spot where like they usually do. And I had to kind of constantly remind myself that there's nothing to worry about. And it actually took a couple of games for things to start flowing again, because I started like getting a little paranoid. I'm like, okay, somebody's, oh my gosh, somebody might portal right behind me. And then for no reason, I just turn around, but there's no reason to turn around because you're not allowed to use portals. You don't have that ability. So after about a few games or so, I adjusted. And then once I played, I started to realize, number one, the game was actually even faster than I thought it would have been, right? Because the game itself by default is a pretty fast paced game, even with the no portals mode. But it was actually quite a lot faster. However, it actually hit that really nice sweet spot to where you could play really fast, but at the same time you could play like really slow, and positioning would be even more crucial than ever. And if you did make a mistake to where you were at the wrong place at the wrong time, well, it would be a little bit more challenging to get the hell out of there because you didn't have those portals as an option, right? Because as technical as portals can be, they're also a free get out of jail card, right? So again, so it just goes to show you that the OG style, so to speak, right, of arena shooters, to where there are no portals and you're just utilizing your movement, everything else that the game is giving you, like your gun skill and all that kind of stuff, when that extra 10% of the portals is removed and you're relying on what made first-person shooters in the first place, there's something to be said about that. And the way this game implements it is incredible. It's almost as if they've implemented the design of the maps and everything else as if they actually had no portals in mind from the get-go, which makes sense because if you think about it, arena shooters didn't really have that in the first place. I mean, sure, you may have had like some games like, let's say, the OG Halos, to where you would have, you know, this what's it called? I'm thinking this you know, teleporter or whatnot, where you can go from one part of the map to the other, but it would always be the same, right? So obviously this is different. It's given in the control to the player, and they can get really fancy with it, and they could be here, they could be there, they could shoot through and all that kind of stuff, which you couldn't do with a teleporter or whatnot, but you get the deal, right? So all of that actually plays a really big difference. And all of a sudden, when you take that away and you ground things a lot more and you make things a little bit more basic, it's still unique within the Splitgate universe because of all the different ways that you can still move with the slide and the momentum, the advanced movement with the Black Ops 3 jetpacks, and the weapons feeling the way they feel and all that kind of stuff. It's cool. The only thing is, again, you don't have a get out of jail free card, which is fine. So and I think that's one of the reasons why a lot of players really like it, because it allows them to play something that's a lot more familiar, a lot less intimidating, because just by looking at the portals, players get intimidated, you know. But just like I said in one of my previous videos, or in a post that I did, just start portaling. You know, if you're gonna dip your toes into the portaling world, just just Portal, and don't overthink it, don't worry about it. And then before you know it, you're actually going to understand without even thinking about it in terms of where you will go when you Portal automatically. And it's going to be muscle memory just like everything else. You're just building something new that you've never really quite built before. And also another thing that one of my viewers mentioned on stream is to actually play the game Portal or Portal 2, and then that will actually help you understand everything even more. So and which makes quite a lot of sense. Even though I never played Portal 1 and Portal 2, I can see how that works, and I can see how that makes sense. So obviously this game was built by the inspiration of that game as well. You know, it's not just Halo, it's not just Titanfall, it's not just a little bit of Call of Duty, it's not just Quake, it's not just Unreal Tournament, etc., etc. It's you know, Portal is a big one too. So but yeah, I think we obviously you guys in the comment section, you know, can let me know down below in terms of, you know, whether or not you think it should be a permanent game mode. I personally think it should be. I think it's probably already popular enough, but at the same time, I don't have the data. I don't know. But again, this in typical fashion on here, I do like to use the videos as feedback for the devs, because my word is just mine. I'm only one person. You know, you guys here are a much higher number than just me. So therefore, whatever it is that you say in the comment section down below, you know, it's you know, especially if the numbers are there in terms of, you know, people's opinions and their comments and how many people agree and all that kind of stuff, that is useful feedback to the devs. And the more likely we are to request something, the more likely it is to happen. So whether or not it happens from now on or whether it actually happens later, you know, whenever it's set to happen, hopefully we can get this as a permanent playlist, because I respectfully agree with the community that, you know, or the portion of the community that wants this. And I think there is a place for it in this game without a shadow of a doubt. I think the maps and the way the weapons work and the way the movement is, I think it works perfectly fine for a mode that doesn't utilize portals. You know, and believe it or not, I would say that the portals work as well as they do because the game also works without them, if that makes sense, right? So, you know, I'm pretty sure before you implement the portals, it's like you got to test all the basics out, right? First. So, and then you probably place the portals where you're going to place them or whatnot. But the foundation of your game, and it being an arena shooter, comes first. And I think this is a good way to also keep people happy and keep those numbers up, because there are people that I think genuinely enjoy this mode without having to worry or be intimidated by the portals. So with that being said, guys, I'm really interested to see what you guys have to say down below, and to see if the vibes are the exact same in this as they were on my Twitter. So with that being said, as always, I'd like to thank everybody for the support, and I'd like to thank everybody for taking the time to watch and or listen. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.